Hello everyone, welcome back to Code Debug Code. In today's video, we're going to cover the 4 main processes to ace a system design interview, especially for FAANG companies. But before we dive in, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our system design tutorials and interview tips. Let's get started. For today's video, we're just briefly touching on the payment system design, an essential example. We'll be using this to explain our 4 major steps. I am guessing you've probably seen this flow diagram for a payment system before. Remember, great system design starts with a clear understanding of the problem. Designing something like this isn't easy. But don't worry, we'll cover the in-depth system design for this payment method in our next video. On our next video, we will provide lots of examples. Now, to design this payment system, or any system, you'll need to follow 4 major processes to succeed in your system design interview. Before we break down these 4 steps, let's briefly talk about how time is divided in a typical system design interview. The first 5 minutes are reserved for introductions, where you'll introduce yourself and potentially clarify any expectations for the interview. The next 50 minutes are the core of the interview, where you'll dive into the actual system design. This is your chance to demonstrate not only your design skills but also your ability to think critically about trade-offs, scalability, and performance. Finally, the last 5 minutes are set aside for a Q&A session. This is an important part of the process because it gives you the opportunity to clarify your decisions and question from interviewer, and show how flexible and open you are to feedback. Now, during those 50 minutes, here's how you can follow the 4 critical steps to impress your interviewer. Step 1. Understanding the problem and establishing the design scope. The first thing you need to do is ask questions to fully understand the problem at hand and define what the system is expected to accomplish. This will ensure you don't go off track, and that you align your design with the interviewer's expectations for functionality and scale. Step 2. Proposing a high-level design. After you've clarified the problem, the next step is to sketch out a high-level design that includes the major components and how they interact. This should give the interviewer a clear picture of your approach to solving the problem while leaving room for deeper discussion on specific areas. Step 3. Diving deep into specific areas of the design. Once your high-level design is in place, it's time to drill down into particular components, such as databases, caching, or scaling strategies. Here, you'll showcase your technical expertise by discussing trade-offs, optimization strategies, and how you'd solve potential bottlenecks. Step 4. Wrapping up the discussion. In the final step, you'll summarize your design and explain how it addresses the key requirements, as well as its strengths in terms of scalability, fault tolerance, and user needs. Use this time to reinforce the thought process behind your choices and demonstrate your ability to think about long-term improvements. Let's break down the time allocation for each step. This is very important on any interview. As you know, time is money. For the step 1. That is, understanding the problem and setting the scope. Around 5 minutes of your total time should be spent out of 50 minutes on this step. For step 2. Proposing a high-level design and buy-in. Around 20 minutes of your time should be spent out of 50 minutes on this step. For step 3. Diving deep into specific components. For this also, around 20 minutes of your time should be spent out of 50 minutes on this step. For step 4 and last step. That is, wrapping up the discussion. For this last step, only around 5 minutes of your time should be spent out of 50 minutes. We'll dive deeper into each of these steps in the upcoming video, where we'll walk through these 4 major steps of system design in greater detail. Stay tuned for more in our step-by-step guide series on system design. And don't forget to subscribe to get access to even more tutorials, tips, and guides on how to ace FAANG interviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.